Ave Dominus Nox, I have come for you.
Hello again and welcome to another Mordy and Glory Warhammer 40k Battle Report. In today's episode we find the Mordian 50th Rifles desperately trying to hold back the darkness. It will be Lasgun versus Talon. That's what we're going to go for. It will be Leman Russ versus Demon Prince. And in command of these heretical forces today, man, my partner in crime for this battle report, it is, well, there are some that call him Jacob, aka El Warpy, aka the Warp Forge, if you are in the MG Discord. Dude, thank you for coming down today and helping me with the battle report.
No worries, glad to help, and it's going to be so fun. This is a battle report years in the making.
It's been cooking. It's been cooking. So you've been taking your time putting together this beautiful Night Lords army, and then you've been sharing your progress pictures over the sort of last 9 months on the live streams and in the Discord, and finally it's here. So I'm sure there will be some people that will recognise the army and be very excited to see it on the tabletop. Now, we are filming this the day before the big Thanatos Apocalypse event, and so we want to tie this into the narrative of that story. And what we're thinking is maybe you, like the Mordians, have heard rumours down in the Underhive that people have been going missing and weird flayed corpses have been on display. Obviously the Epilogue governors think it's the usual degenerates down there in the Underhive, full of all the scum that they push down there, all the rejects of Imperial society. And so the Mordians have been going out on patrol, just like trying to stop people from basically what they think is killing and eating each other. And actually it turns out that all of this has been set up by the Night Lords, who want to do an initial raid, lure some Imperial forces into the Underhive and start doing those cow seizure, cutting the head. We've got the Lord Solomon cows here trying to cut off the head of the snake before the main campaign even kicks off, spreading terror, confusion, and more terror. So that's what we're going for today. I have to say I'm pretty hyped for this. You know what? Let's not mess around any further. Let's take a look at the two army lists that are going to be battling it out today. So here we have 2,000 points of his Imperial Guard, the Emperor's true finest. Looking forward to getting flayed today against the Night Lords. So I brought lots and lots of infantry for them to peel the skin off. And as a tradition, why don't we start with the infantry corps? Because every day in the corps is like a day on the farm. Every meal, a banquet, a paycheck, a fortune, every formation, a parade. I just want to say a big thank you to Jacob, aka the Warp Forge, for this absolutely fantastic gift. It's a really cool points tracker that we can now use sort of throughout the games, and we can refer to it and everything, which is awesome. And look, it's got the logo. It's everything. There's the Night Lords one for you as well, which is awesome.
Of course, I need the superfluous logo on thing, straight from the Nightmare Kill Team book.
That's so cool. So so I had to say it when the quote came up. I had to reference this. But starting with the infantry, I've gone for something fairly normal today, which is something that I'm a little familiar with. So we have gone for the usual 2 blobs of Catachan jungle fighters, all the flamers, and they are led by the man, the myth, the legend. It is Colonel Ironhand Strachan. Never leave home without him. Some people say he's rubbish. I think he's amazing. And those people that say he's rubbish are the people that haven't actually played him yet. When he brings down a Nightbringer on his own, you know he's a good model. We've also got 2 units of Death Corps of Krieg. Now, I haven't run Krieg in a little while. I've been hitting the Cadian train hard, but just thought, you know what, we'll bring a few classic Krieg blobs. So we have got 2 20-man, each with the Watchmasters, with the double plasma pistol and the power swords, a couple of outer guns, a couple of plasma guns, a couple of grenade launchers, and you'll notice there's 1 guy in each squad with a backpack, and he's the medic guy. Now we are being led today by some officers that have been given to me on loan. So I quite foolishly forgot to bring my my Death Corps marshals, but fortunately we're recording this the day before Thanatos, so there are about 100 guard players So it was quite easy for me to find a couple of spare models to borrow. So big thank you to Hinty, and a big thank you to him for lending us these Deathcore models. They're going to lead these Mordians forward. Now that covers the baseline infantry, the battle line infantry. Then we move over to the support elements. We've got a Lord Solar command blob. You know it, you love it, it's very familiar. We've got Lord Solar Macaria today. Leontus, never heard of him. And we've got an infantry squad with a mortar and a platoon command squad with a mortar. I haven't brought the medic, which is, I feel naked without my medic, but I want to try and use this almost like a third heavy weapon squad. But of course, I mean, between the medic and the flag, I'm picking the flag every time. Then, speaking of mortars, though, we have 2 heavy weapon squads, each with 3 mortars. So this is going to form my artillery corps today. Big fan of the mortar pit. It's been doing some good work for me. And yeah, with all the other artillery going up in points, it's kind of the only cheap way of spamming indirect fire for the garden anymore. But that covers all the infantry. We then get to the tank corps. And again, this is where I started trying to mix things up a bit. So we've taken 3 El Clasicos. I've been running a lot of Vanquishers. I've been running a lot of Demolishers and stuff recently. But I thought, you know what? Let's go back to the El Clasico. Lehman Russ battle tank with battle cannon, las cannon, heavy bolters, and each one is going to have a heavy stubber and hunter killer missile as well. And then, for the first time, I think, in 10th edition, I am running somewhat mass sentinels. Normally, I run like 1 or 2 sentinels here and there. For a long time, I didn't run any. But people have been asking on the comments and on the live stream stuff, Morning, when do you bring the sentinels out? So I thought, you know what? I finally, as per the last Discord painting event that we did, got 6 sentinels sorted out. So I thought, let's go for it. 3 with autocannons and hunter killer missiles and chainswords. 3 with las cannons and hunter killer missiles and chainswords. 6 sentinels in total, helping to bulk out the armored corps and also bridging the infantry corps a little bit as well, because these guys are regiment, so you can use reinforcements on them. So I could bring 3 sentinels back. We've got our prerequisite 2 Cyclops demolition vehicles, because I like to score secondaries, but I don't like to spend a lot of points on it. And last but certainly not least, we have got the Tech Priest engines here, because I had 45 points left over, and I was thinking of taking like a commissar or something, but then I would have been like 15 points down, and I needed that crisp 2,000 on the nose. So I've probably made my list slightly worse by including him over something else, but when you can get that crisp 2,000, you've got to go for it. So it is 2,000 points on the nose, and it is a nice balanced hybrid guard army. Let's see what they're taking on today. Let's head over to the Night Lords. And here we have 2,000 points of Night Lords. And they are beautifully painted, sir, if I may say so. You have done an amazing job. Now, some of you may recognize these models because the Warpforge over here has, or Warpy, as you will now be known going forward, Warpy, yeah. Or Warpy, has been, if you join the live streams, has been showing these models off bit by bit as they have been coming together over, it feels like the last 6 months, is it? Or was it a bit longer?
9. Since August, because when the tickets went up, I snatched a ticket as soon as possible. So it was like Ned Flanders at the tax office.
Yes.
Just grab it, get the hotel, book it, all sorts. And then I thought, use the event as a massive
motivator. Yeah.
To get it, because it's like, I'm the J.R. Martin of Wargaming on YouTube. Like I say, I'll give the best quality of video I can. You're getting it. 9 years. 9 years.
This army's been 9 years in the painting, and it has been a big push on the last 9 months. Very, very cool, and it's great to see a proper Night Lord's force. Now, sir, do you want to use your clawy hand to point out the models and take us through the list, sir?
Absolutely. So, just to make this James Workshop trademarkable, this is the claw of the Stygian Count, and if you know, you know. So, basically, want to make a massive shout out to Headshot Wargaming. They've got their own Etsy store. These are the people who made
they made it though.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
They do custom, they do mini trackers, they do stuff for bolt action like pin markers, they do stuff for Legions Imperialis at the moment. But they do have like custom templates and such where you can just click, put a little bit of text into it, send it off to them, and then they'll make it for you.
Really cool. We'll try and make sure we'll
yeah.
make sure Evan puts a link in the description.
Absolutely.
There we go.
And they are good quality. Those are Chicago screws.
Nice.
Screwed right in. So yeah, going on to my list. So to give people a broad understanding, there's been a lot of situations with this list. I was on track of getting everything painted, but I had the index in mind, and when I was playing with the index, I was getting good with it. I was throwing down possessed bombs. I was as my Imperial Knight player in my area said, it's like I was like fighting shadows, popping in, popping out, hiding behind line of sight terrain.
Well, we are the Emperor's Light with our flashlights, so you can hide in the shadows all you want. Our flashlights will illuminate you.
Don't worry, we will consume you in darkness. But yeah, absolutely. So a lot of it has changed. With the Codex Rival, I fully expect it to be after the Thanatos event, not just before it. So a lot of it looks a bit finicky. So I have to apologise to my friends in the Night Lords Discord server because I am not running Dread Talons.
Lambast him, viewers. Lambast him down in the comment section.
Exactly.
You've gone full whack a piece of shit, try hard.
I know.
And you are running.
I'm a bad man, but that's why I play Night Lords.
That's true. That is true.
Absolutely. So when it comes to these Night Lords for this game, the iron is truly within.
So you're running the Fellhammer detachment,
yes,
is it?
The Fellhammer Siege Host, I believe. Although
Cool.
I could have been mixing up a few names there. But
The tough one. The tough one. There we go.
Basically, as you know, strength higher than the
What
toughness.
it is, it's not that you're tough. It's that I can't see you.
Yeah,
so I'm struggling like this. Just like da 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 da. You're just doing.
I'm just pulling the Adam West and Batman. Just smoke.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, this is what I'm going to use. I chose the Fellhammer because I thought it's the most flexible and forgiving detachment.
And this is your first game with the new codex, so it's an easy one to remember.
Absolutely. Just so forgiving. Let's see what we can pull off. So, without further ado, we'll go into the units. So, we'll go into the very custom guys. These two guys here are my obliterators. I call them my war crypts.
They're cool.
Forges from the heretic Zephron, who dons the title Master of Puppets.
I like it.
Absolutely. He just grabs spirits from the Sea of Souls and rams them in to avoid the whole demony thing, because demons are inefficient.
We don't like demons.
Exactly.
Well, I say we. Heresy detected. You don't like demons.
Heretic.
Brother.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, absolutely. So
Two obliterators.
So they just pack a punch. Some people say they've been nerfed. I'm going to give them a go and see what happens.
It's only a friendly game after all.
Exactly. Next unit is a minimum unit of Raptors. Guy's got a power fist for the champion. 3 plasma pistols involved.
Nice.
Fantastic. The 3 separate units, you can't take a squadron of them.
Sad.
The 3 separate units, rule of 3. These are all las cannon predators, the las cannon.
Match las all the way.
Las all the way. I just need something to punch armor. I've got plenty of ways to flay and peel, but I need something to punch armor. That's my list making crux there.
Nice.
Something I'm hoping to develop as I go along with the edition. So this unit of Raptors is the same as before. 3 Power Fist Sergeant, 3 plasma pistols, have fun.
Lots of Raptors, nice.
This unit. So
another unit of Raptors.
So we have a maximum 10 unit of Raptors, 3
Okay.
plasma pistols, Power Fist Sergeant, and we have Harken World Claimer. A guy who I've kit bashed, and I dub him the Jaeger.
Nice.
The story behind that is, originally I was going to call him the Mouth of Nox, but in his first ever game with the Index, I went up against Imperial Knights. He finished off a Knight Lancer, forced it to fail Battle Shock twice, and also killed his bondsman by finishing that off as well. The
Nice.
Hyper Lance is a mean sort. So the reason why I call him the Jaeger, in reference to Eren Jaeger from Attack on Titan, because they're all psychopathic murderers. Hallelujah.
Nice.
Some people say Geneva Convention, I say Geneva Suggestion. There you go. So
Very Night Lords of you.
yeah, so the lore I said was basically as he was cracking open the Lancer's cockpit, he holds his prize aloft. His prize looks at him with sheer terror. How could this have happened? And he just shouts a single word: Jaeger.
He liked that.
Jaeger. Exactly.
Yeah, and he
loves
took
a
it
good Jaeger
took it
bomb.
on as his moniker.
Exactly. So he basically took a liking to it and broadcast it through the Vox, and then they all started chanting Jaeger, Jaeger.
That's so cool.
And
That's the kind of world building and lore that
Yeah.
you know really is what Warhammer's all about.
Absolutely. I never let my Imperial Knight player forget it.
Got Jaeger's here today.
Absolutely. So the Jaeger's coming out to play. We've got a squad of 5 Warp Talons. A lot of people are saying that they're great. I do have 10, but for now, I'm just going to throw them out and see how 5 do. It's just a case of I got so many
5
Raptors
now,
painted.
more later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want full 30. Let's go.
Yeah.
You press the button. You keep going to spam the button. So this unit now, conglomeration. This is my warlord. He's a master of executions.
Cool.
Yeah, so he's massive executor. He has the anti-tank, anti-fortification 4+ trait.
Nice.
He is backed up by my sorcerer.
I thought that was Fabulous Bill.
The reason why I say a sorcerer is because he has a Chirurgeon in the
he just looks a bit like Fabulous Bill.
He does. He's meant to be like a rogue apothecary in the 8th Legion. He went to Amphibious Bowers Apothecarian. He has latent psychic abilities, which he uses for torture and flaying for medical purposes, of course.
Of course.
And so Fabius Bile enjoyed what he saw, gave him Chirurgeon and said, you can repay the debt later at the time of his choosing. Which to me allows a little story plot hole whenever I include Fabius Bile, he's come to claim his debt. So yeah, after that we have 10-man unit of Legos, as we call them in the Night Lord's Discord server. Short for Legionaries, 10 Legos. We have a champion with an icon of chaos with a heavy melee weapon. We also have a Chaos Space Marine with a heavy melee weapon. The rest are just bog standard chain swords and bolt pistols. You know the drill.
Nice.
Second unit is just a natural, what you call the Master of Executions with a 10-man unit of Legos, and they're both in both are in rhinos because you got to ride the lightning somehow, right?
And if you walk them out across the board, they'll be very dead.
They'd be very dead. But ride the lightning, come on.
Yeah, ride the lightning. Sorry, I'll stop being so brutally living in the real world.
This is the world of fantasy and
Exactly. They're riding the lightning down. Well, dude, it is an amazing army, man. It's great to finally see it in person. I've been seeing this through the pictures on the Discord for the last 9 months, and to see it here in all of its resplendent glory is fantastic. Well, you know what? Let's head over to the field of battle after deployment and see what this all looks like. And here we have the field of battle after deployment, starting with the Emperor's true finest. We have the Mordians, we've got 1st Platoon over here, we've got a Leman Russ with the Tech Priest, Mortar Pit, and then we have got 2 blobs of guard. 1 Krieg leading the way, Strachan behind with his Catachans. We've got a unit of Sentinels that are up front and proud. Well, you might think that's a bit of a Billy Big Bollocks position, but don't forget they do have a scout move, so they shouldn't be there. They should be fairly safe. We've also got the command platoon here with the Lord Solar, another Liam Russ backing him up, and another unit of Kriegers here. And then over on this flank, we have gone for a Lehman Russ, and we've gone for Mortar Pit, another unit of Catachans, and some Scout Sentinels. For the Night Lords, we've got a lone unit of Warp Talons over here, just keeping the guard on the toes. And then we have got another unit of Raptors, and they've been supported by the 3 Predators. And then you've got your Rhinos with the another unit of Raptors, and the unit we totally forgot to mention in the list overview.
The biggest, baddest boy of them all.
This is your Demon Prince, which you call
the Avatar of Nox.
The Avatar of Nox. So yeah, Avatar. What's he got? Because we didn't do him in the overview. Might as well do him now.
He has the relic, which I can't remember the name of, but it's basically on the objective. When he attacks a guy on the objective, it's +1 to wound.
Nice.
So hits him hard. Other than that, it's just standard sword. Can't really give him anything else. So
Fair.
Just throw him down.
Fair.
Fly him around, cause some bottle shock, and kick some ass, basically.
Well, hopefully. Fingers crossed, okay. Now, the mission that we are doing today is Scorched Earth. So you can burn an objective to score some extra points at the end of the game. And the deployment we are doing is Dawn of War. We're just keeping it simple today. For the terrain, everything is going to be ruins. We've extended some of the ruins using things like the crates and stuff, but these are, for all intents and purposes, part of this. Now, we have blocked off all of the windows, so you can't see through the bottom floor. That should just stop there being a bit of a shooting gallery. But otherwise, it's the normal ruins rules. You can breach through them if you're infantry, and if you're vehicles, you got to take the long way around. But that's enough pre-game preamble, if you will. Now it is time to find out who is going first. So you have some brand new Chaos dice that you are going to be trialing. I've got the trusty white Mordian dice, so let's find out. I got a 2. It's better than the last roll I got. Oh dear.
This is where we see Warp's good old rolling.
Ah! Come on, Mordian dice. Oh, not on the tray. Live by the tray, die by the tray.
Do we roll?
There you go. You got the win. So you have to go first. Yep. And so we will be back at the end of your turn 1. End of Night Lord's turn 1. It was fast and furious. In their command phase, they drew 2 objectives, no prisoners, and they also drew cleanse. In an effort to cleanse, the Avatar of Nox came forward and cleansed his objective. I think he sort of spills like this oily, inky blackness that sort of just coats the entire. He doesn't cleanse, he desecrates it.
Exactly.
And then we've also got the Raptors, which you ummed and ahed about this because you're like, oh, I'll probably lose them, but you thought, you know what, better to lose 5 Raptors and get 2 more victory points.
You got to score points.
Exactly.
Get them points in turn 1. Get clean wins. You know?
Exactly. So you managed to get cleanse. Unfortunately, no prisoners is not one that you're able to get this turn, but you did have a bit more shooting. So you moved out here aggressively, mostly because you wanted to try and start getting that Rhino forward. There had been a little bit of a traffic jam over there, but you fired this Rhino over here. You got a successful Dark Pact, but the arm of the Leman Russ proved invulnerable to the Havoc launcher. But over here, it turns out that the Guardsmen are not invulnerable to las cannons. And after a successful Dark Pact, a little bit of Havoc launching, and some good sustained hits from las cannons, we ended up losing 5 Catachans. So we've not taken too much damage, but of course we deployed most of our stuff hidden, so that was the plan. Now, the big question for you, old L-Warpy, is, do you want to keep no prisoners?
No, I'm burning it.
Are you going to burn it and gain a CP? There we go. So he's burning it, he's gaining a CP. So that is the end of the Night Lord turn 1. Let's see if the guard can move out. See if we can... the ambush has been sprung. You've gone in. Let's see if the guard can...
fast and aggressive.
Let's see if the guard can push back. You know, but upon sight of the enemy, I advance, sir. That's my style, sir. End of Imperial Guard turn 1, and we have gone aggressive. The only way to deal with these sneaky Night Lord Blighters is what I was going for. Death Guard, Shite Lord Terminators, is to move forward. The best way to clear an ambush is to spring it, sir. That's what I've always said. So my Kriegers moved and advanced on this objective to deny the primary points to the Demon Prince. I did get 1 guy onto the objective, and I found out the Demon Prince is OC3, and I was like, big sad. So I was like, fine, I will advance. I then moved my Sentinels and my Kriegers out here. I fired all of my Kriegers into the Raptors. I killed most of them, but I also killed 3 of my own people because I had a very, very bad hazardous roll. The Sentinels then put everything they had into the Predator that was here, and we did manage to get it, which was good. These Sentinels over here, they moved around, they helped finish off the Raptors, and they also did a little bit of fire onto this Predator, but we only did 4 wounds to it in total. And this unit of Guardsmen here have begun burning this objective. Bit of a bold move to burn it early on, but this objective right now is not under pressure. If you leave it for me, it means that I get some bonus points at the end of the game. And if you decide to try and stop me, then you will lose your force concentration by bringing something down here. So I'll put you in a tricky position there. Elsewhere, we fired. I'm trying to remember what it was now. It was... oh no, the Leman Russes killed the Predator, and the Sentinels set up the Rhino, and then the 2 mortar squads went in and finished the Rhino off. It did explode, doing 2 mortal wounds here, 2 mortal wounds to the Raptors behind, and doing 1 mortal wound to the guys as they got out. The explosion didn't do that, they took 1 mortal wound as they got out. And then this guy here went for... tried to go for Assassinate, which is one of my secondaries, but unfortunately didn't get it, and I have binned that off now. So in terms of secondaries, I have got Secure No Man's Land, because I have secured it, and now we're going to go into Night Lord turn 2 and see if they can punch back hard. They've been hit hard, Let's see if they can hit back even harder. End of Night Lord's turn 2, and it is getting spicy. Starting off, we have brought in the Harken Bomb, and it was ready to charge in and do lots of terrible things, and it failed its 9-inch charge. We rerolled it. It failed its 9-inch charge. But don't worry, the Predator made its charge. Oh joy, on a 6/6. Brilliant. So the one thing that we didn't that didn't really need the long charge got in there. Yeah. Now the Predator then did try and tank shock, but unfortunately it only did 1 wound on the tank shock, and then it did no wounds on the on its charge, on its attacks, and it did take 2 wounds from the Sentinel chainsaws over there. Over here, the Obliterators deep struck in an attempt to try and stop me from burning that objective, but they just rolled badly. In fact, I think we can say you had one of the shooting phases of all time.
Yes, it was definitely the shooting phase of all time.
So unfortunately, they didn't do very much, and then they failed their 9-inch charge over there. So the left and the centre, not great. The two Predators, should say, the shooting phase, fired into the Liam Russ and only got 1 wound. They did get that wound through, but they only did 3 damage.
Yeah.
So it was a bit unfortunate. And you said afterwards, I see now why people take the Destructors. Yeah.
I've given them a few rounds now. We've had our fun with the las cannons. It's time to fish for 6s with Dark Pacts.
Yeah, yeah. But elsewhere, it wasn't all bad for the Night Lords. The Demon Prince and the Legios made their charges into the creek there. The Massive Executioner went first. He took the head off the Deathcore Marshal and followed through and killed 4 more guardsmen. Yeah. And then between everything else, including the Demon Prince, the remaining guardsmen were cut down. I would say they were cut down to a man, but there was a lot of overspill attacks. Yeah, the Demon Prince.
It was overkill, but it had to happen.
It had to happen. Now, I did spend 2 CP for reinforcements, so they will be coming back, but I've lost my feel and my pain on them, and I've really kind of lost my order support for them as well. So there we go. It's overall, I'd say the Night Lords are putting good pressure on this flank. The big issue is they didn't do anywhere near as much damage as they wanted here, and the clap back from the double El Clasico, could spell doom for. I mean, this is a pretty high priority target, so we might have to go for it. But we'll see. We'll see.
He's my warlord.
He's your warlord. Fair enough. He may be your warlord, but he is scary.
He's a scary man. Just making sure you know just 4 seconds.
Fair play, fair play. But that's all for the Night Lords. Let's head over to the Imperial Guard, turn 2, and see if we can hit back hard. End of turn 2 for his Imperial Guard, the Emperor's true finest. My God, so we're hitting you hard. We're hitting you very, very hard. So we have decided to push through with the Sentinels here, and we fired our autocannons into the Obliterators, and we killed one with an autocannon shell. The Catachan, seeing this, charged in and took a wound off the next one, but it's still fighting. You didn't fight back here yet, but we'll do it live. Do it live. We'll do it live. Let's do it now.
Okay, where's the subblitz? He has crushing fists.
Okay, crush me.
Okay, so I'm going to Dark Pact for a sustained hits 1.
Okay. That sums up this turn.
That's D3 more wounds.
D3. 2. Thank you for doing more wounds to you than I did.
That is just how it be.
So now you've got to...
So I've got sustained hits still. Got 4 attacks. And then I am hitting on 3.
Hit on 3s, killing on 2s probably.
And that's a reroll.
A lot of sustained. 3 sustained. Get 3 more dice in there.
Worth it.
Killing on 2s.
Is this going to be another Warforge experience?
No, okay. No, so 6 of my guys die. So, sorry, we got a little excited with the other combat over there. So, we've...
-2 to damage piece.
So that was 6 dead, I'm guessing?
Yeah, -2 to damage piece.
Yeah, there we go. So, where were we? So, those guardsmen have died. So, Sentinels came on here. Catachan killed 1. Catachan's charged in, did a wound to it. This is then fought back and killed 6 of the Catachan, so maybe they were a bit foolhardy in charging over here. But elsewhere, the Sentinels fired into the Predator right in front of them. Even with a -1 to hit, they were able to get it. You actually made a couple of good 6-up saves, but unfortunately the one last cannon that got through did manage to get the big damage.
It was good rolling.
We then fired this battle tank into its Harkon time, and unfortunately I rolled well and you rolled badly. You were in cover, you were on a 3-up save, I had no extra AP or anything. You just
no, this is the Warforged experience, folks. At a certain point, my dice rolls just spike downwards.
They spike downwards. And then over here, we put this tank and the reformed, the second wave of Kriegers into the Demon Prince, and we did bring it down. We then put in the mortars, the Lord Solar, this tank over here, this blob of Kriegers here, and then Strachan's unit into the Legios, into the Legos, I should say, and we killed them all but one Lego, one Sorcerer, and one Master of Executions. I then sent the squad in. Strachan did have, it took all that firepower because they're -1 to hit with the Sorcerer, which is really cool. I then sent Strachan in. The Kajans killed the final Lego, and then Strachan himself went, and he was able to kill the Sorcerer, and the Master of Executions survived on 2 wounds. He got that 6-up. Now that meant the Master of Executions was able to strike back against Strachan. He dark packed successfully. He rolled his 5 attacks. You got 7 hits. You then rolled your wounds. You got 6. You rolled your wounds, and you failed 6 out of 7 wounds.
This is the Warforged experience, folks. You think you're going to do something epic, and
Strength 7 versus Toughness 4, and it was just a sea of 1s and 2s. And then Strachan at least had the courtesy to fail the 1 wound he took, but he did survive on 2 wounds. Now that's not ideal for you over there. Not ideal.
But hey, this is what it is. Dice be dice sometimes.
Exactly. Now the Night Lords do have they've taken a big blow this turn. But they do have another unit of Raptors, they do have another unit of Warp Talons, Harkon is still going, and he's pretty good, and you've got a full unit of Legios in here, ready to rock and roll. So, let's...
The secondaries guide me at this point.
Yes. Oh, speaking of secondaries, I had got overwhelming force and no prisoners. Had to say that was a perfect draw for this big turn 2 punch. So, we'll see what the Night Lords can do. They will get some primary because they are holding the home objective. Let's see if the secondaries will guide them. Turn 3 for the Night Lords. Almost called you World Eaters, which would have been a grave error and a deep insult, so I do apologise. But but it feels like I've been facing World Eaters because you've been chopping the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So the next unit of Night Lords jumped out. Between them and the Rhino, they bolted down a good half of the Krieg squad, and then they charged in to the Strachan blob and massacred them to a man, which did save your Warlord, which is good. These guys didn't charge in because you want to pop those back up, which you'll do at the end of your turn.
Shall I do it now?
Yeah, go for it. And then over here, had a bit of a bad one. So you charged in, you did your mortal wounds, you only did 1 mortal wound, and then when you dark packed, you killed a guy, which then meant after all was said and done, this Sentinel lived on 1 wound, which was annoying for you because that denied you some bring it down. Now you did get 3 for bring it down for killing the 1 Sentinel, but you would have got 5 for it, which would have been nice. Over on the las cannon duel, the less said about it, the better. Another turn of I wish I had destructors, and then over here I did 2 wounds to you, which you passed, and then you did 2 wounds to me, which just killed me.
Yeah.
There we go. So end of the halfway point of the game, the Night Lords, they're hurting. We're not going to lie, they're hurting. But they've secured an objective there. If they can burn that objective, that could be quite big. They have to survive a turn or so to do it. But they've secured that objective. They're contesting this one, and they have they have been pushing hard. Unfortunately for them, I did use 2 CP for reinforcements on Strachan's unit, so they're cutting down wave after wave of guardsmen. But there's those tin whistles in the back trenches just sending in the next wave, over and over again. And it would be a very in certain games, things like reinforcements are very strong, and one side has it and one side doesn't. But we'll go into Imperial Guard turn 3. We'll see if we could do a big hit, and we'll see what happens once the dust is settled. End of guard turn 3, and we have delivered a potentially killing blow to the Night Lords. It's looking a bit grim for the Sons of Curse, that's the one. Curse, there we go.
It's a grim day, but we usually call it Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Essentially, what I did is I put the mortars into here, and then between this tank, a couple of special weapons from here, and this tank, we blew them away. The only one that survived was this Massive Executions. The other Massive Executions went down to this Lord Solar Command Squad, which has been pretty big bollocks, and has gone out there. So we've cleared that away. We also cleared the centre because I fired this tank, and unfortunately, for Jacob, he did not roll very many saves at all.
Yeah.
Bad saves all round, to be honest.
It's the Warforged experience.
Yeah, the Warforged experience. Maybe your armour should be forged not in the warp. Yeah. Because our demons aren't reliable artisans.
No, I think a few bits of the Oedipus Mechanicus next.
Yeah. We cleansed this objective because that was one of my secondaries. So that these guys didn't do any shooting this turn. But we did try and kill the Obliterator. The Sentinels went in. We got a couple of wounds on him. I think we got 3 wounds on you, and you just passed all your 3-up saves because sometimes
the Dark Gods smile.
Sometimes it helps. But I auto passed my Cata chance down here for a CP because if they die, I want to be able to reinforce them.
Yeah.
The final bit for the guard turn was I drew investigate signals, so the mortars did it here, and then beep beep, the Cyclopses came in. They've been waiting in the wings turn 3, and now we can come into the deployment zone, and we have been able to get maximum investigate signals because we have the tech priest doing it over here, 2 Cyclopses in the other corners, and the mortars here. So that was a pretty big score. We'll go over to the Night Lords turn 4. I suspect there is some revenge coming from this Massive Executions. If you could cut the head from the snake, it will basically it will get rid of all of my orders.
Exactly.
You could literally get rid of all of my remaining orders, bar 1, if you go in there and kill this guy and kill the Lord Solar.
Yeah.
It could be done.
Yeah.
It could be done. But that is everything for the guard turn 3. Let's head into the Night Lord's penultimate turn. Turn 4 for the Night Lords, and they've given it a bloody good go. Respect where respect is due. They have managed to score a respectable number of primary and secondary this turn. So you controlled your home objective with the Warp Talons. They dropped back down. They're just in there, if you can see it. Hello, boys. And that allowed the Raptors here to move forward and try and take the objective. Now, the Raptors forced me to take a Battleshock test. And if I had failed that test, you would have got Storm Hostile Objective. But unfortunately, I passed it. So you missed out on one of your secondaries there. But it was a good effort, and it goes to show, and we were saying off camera that if you had been your Dread Talons, whatever it's called, I would have failed that Battleshock test because it was -3, and that would have got you an extra 5 points there. So good to know. You've tried sort of the Iron Warrior ones out just because it's easy, and it has saved you a lot of damage. But it's interesting that you would have got more points if you'd gone for the that one there. But anyway, and at least in that niche scenario, we should say. Now, you did also get Extend Battle Lines, which you have done because you advanced the Predator over here. The Predator was like, you know what? Don't fancy this tank duel. Doesn't seem to be going that well. So he just moved over here, got yourself 5 points. So 10 victory points in total this turn. Not a bad showing at all. Duda over here, moved forward, missed everything in the CP reroll, charged in, did no damage. Exactly. In return,
just did Tokyo Drift.
in return, took a wound. Didn't die, but took a wound.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And then you went for the Billy Big Bollocks maneuver. You took your Massive Executions, you charged him into my Lord Solar unit, and you were able with Dark Packs, you got 6 wounds on my Lord Solar, which could have killed him. But unfortunately, I did pass 3 of my 4 invulnerable saves, which meant that I survived on 2 wounds because they are 2 damage each. So not quite getting him, but it was a good effort nonetheless. And there was a good chance that you could have sniped both characters with a good spiky roll, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. However, he is an absolute whirling dervish because I was unable to do more than get a single bayonet wound through. He was passing 5 up saves, left, right, and centre. Now we are going into the Imperial Guard turn 4. We want to see if we can maybe mop up these stragglers, and if we can, then we might be able to seal the deal. So let's see what happens going into Guard turn 4. End of turn 4 for his Imperial Guard in his name. And the Night Lords have had a bit of a battering. So we move forward with this unit. We didn't medic anyone back because we wanted to keep the +1 to hit and the +1 to wound. And then we brought the tank up with the move as well. Both of those went into the Predator, and unfortunately it only had 4 wounds left, and it was reduced to a bit of a smouldering wreck. It didn't explode though. In the middle, we fired the 2 las cannons over here into the Master Executioner over here, and he did survive that. Unfortunately, he did not survive the attentions of the entire Lehman's battle tank, and he did unfortunately go down. This Lehman Russ over here finished off the Raptors, and then we just had the Obliterator left, who has actually, he's the hero of this round because he killed a Sentinel, and in return they did no damage to him, and he did survive. But the Guard had a good turn on our secondaries. We drew a tempting target, which was the middle objective, and we scored that. And we also got behind enemy lines, which were once again done by the best 25-point unit in the entire game. Now that's the end of round 4, and we've had a little chat off camera, and that is going to be the end of the game. The Night Lords are going to slink away with their remaining survivors, and due to the very, very fun game and the honourable, ironically, honourable way in which they've conducted themselves in this game.
Honestly, it has been the Warp Forge experience of Dice.
It has. And because of that, we don't want to do turn 5, because I mean turn 5 realistically just consists of you drawing a couple of cards, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And also we want to let these Warp Talons, they slink back into the darkness. They take the message back. The raid did not succeed, but you did manage to at least trigger the event with this battle. So good game, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for the game, and let's get that final score together and some final thoughts.
And like every horror villain, there's always a sequel.
I love it. Yes, we'll be back. You'll be back in the future, I'm sure. All right, let's get that final score and let's work out where we stand. End of the game. Final thoughts and score. And we are looking at a good 45 points for the Night Lords at the end of turn 4. You would have got easily over the 50 mark with your turn 5. So I always say if you can get at least sort of 50 points, you've made a game of it. You've conducted yourself with honour. You can go away with your head held high. So good effort from the Night Lords, and the Imperial Guard have ended at the end of turn 4 with 81 victory points. I have to say this was a really, really fun game, and it was a very different experience facing off against the Night Lords, and I really actually enjoyed the Iron Warriors. Yeah. Like, obviously we didn't do many dice rolls on camera today because of background noise and the time we had available, hence doing while we're doing the summary. Absolutely. But heavy bolters going from wounding on 3s to wounding on 4s. It took, even though there's obviously not many Night Lords left, guard firepower is nothing to joke, and I can tell you now, that detachment, it's showing the signs. We could see the combo shining through, and it is showing the signs of being quite tough.
I think, like, my one misplay I was making was...
Let me come around to your side so we can hear you a bit better with the... There we go.
one misplay I keep doing, it's a common occurrence within me as a player, is I constantly don't really do stratagems. So I keep, like today was fantastic because I was just farming CP from people like Strachan and characters, and that was great. But I keep forgetting, and it's that rehearsal. I think one of the things I should have really been doing a lot more is getting that feel no pain stratagem.
Five feel no pain strat.
Wow, yeah, that is for one command point, saves you every time. Honestly, you use it in turn 1, you use it every turn, mandatory. It is fantastic. The pistol strat is also quite good. Again, obliterators, they're not seen as great. I see their role shifting. If you're an Iron Warriors player, I'd highly consider them for anti-marines or anti-infantry, because whilst my dice rolls are poor, I can still see the potential for them, especially when you can just indirect, like as this instance shown over here. If you can get some good dice rolls off, you can really just start forcing out, pushing back.
There were a few times when things spiked, and we were sort of saying this off camera. When you got into combat, you cleared me away. And just sort of building off something we said off camera as well, the units that did best in your army were your mechanized ones. And we've been saying this a lot on the MD live streams, and you're a very active participant in that. Meching up seems to have a lot of potential.
The Rhino Rush is back, baby.
Rhino Rush is back.
It is, honestly, I'm thinking in future lists, minimum squads of Marines, 5-man units, 2 5-man units in a Rhino with 2 melee heavy weapons and a Reaper chain cannon, boosted up by a Master of Executions. That's 11 guys, and if I really want to put a Sorcerer in there for a -1 to hit, I can. I think the Sorcerer has potential, especially for Dread Towns, because it can force a lot of hits to do minuses and such with its secondary ability that I can't quite remember the name of. So the other ones are Prescience. People don't know,
let us know in the comments then.
Absolutely. Like I say, there was a lot to learn, because it's hard for me to normally get games with friends. We usually get to turn 2 and then a friend gets burned out or this and that happens, so it's nice to have a full game.
Sometimes, 10th, I think a lot of people hit 10th edition hard. And I've noticed a lot of people burning out. I've been burning out. I've been playing Bolt Action recently, and Bolt Action is the game that I go to when I'm feeling the 40k burnout. And I can feel we're hitting that sort of. We've hit the first year of 10th edition as a big. We're talking about the big whole Warhammer community. We've hit that first year hard. And I think now people are starting to gravitate. It's why things like Old World are picking up quite well, and my Bolt Action seeing a resurgence.
Absolutely. For me, it's the Batman miniatures game. Yes, the Night Lord playable as Batman. But absolutely. There is that. For me, it was nice to actually have a full game and learn a few things. I learned. I kind of confirmed my own learning, where it's you follow the objectives to the letter in the sense of to get the victory points. There's been multiple times where it's I just want to go for the kill, or I just want to spook something, but I know that would have just ended up in the killing field, and that would have...
You might kill stuff, but your points are much lower.
My points wouldn't, and that's not how you win games. You've got to score those points. For people who play the Batman Miniatures game, you follow the points, you follow the cards, you follow the victory point lead, go for the victory points. Every time you can see for the victory points, don't catch the bait. Like in that example, in the far east, far northeast of the board.
From the guard perspective, we call that the right flank.
Right flank.
Over here.
So right flank, when I had the Rhino here, just to basically just say, I'm just going to block obstruct movement, because as much as I want to kill this unit with my legionaries, they're better off force concentration on this objective, and that's how it is. If you're an Astartes player, you have to concede. What I've learned is you have to concede one objective.
Your force concentration was on point. Your force concentration was on point.
Focus on your home, focus on 2 objectives in no man's land. If you manage to brave off and weather the storm, and you can see your enemy's ranks thinning, then you punch forward home to the enemy objective.
From my perspective, sorry, carry on. I don't mean to interrupt.
Like I said, this game has been a very good and enjoyable learning experience, despite my dice rolls and me getting my teeth kicked in.
Well, from my perspective, 3 quick questions for you. Firstly, favourite unit?
Favourite unit? Master of Executions.
Secondly, unit that you think did the worst?
It's a hard one. Obliterators. They did, they're still around, but
they didn't do much.
The dice rolls were whiffy.
And third, if you in one sentence, if you could change one thing about your list and improve it, and after playing this game, what have you learned and what would you change about your list?
Oh, there's a lot. So my list is a combination of dealing with what I had in the index and translating it into the codex.
Yeah.
So right now there's a lot I'd change my list.
Okay, fair enough.
There's like I do a lot more Rhino rushes. I might be an Emperor's Children player. I know Emperor's Children player are grumbling right now for their index, but Night Lords players are rejoicing because of Noise Marines, take them in battle line, put them in Rhinos, force battle shocks when you roll to hit. It's all gravy.
Okay.
It's all gravy.
Yeah, I would say definitely from my perspective, the units that caused me the most problem were the Rhinos, and I can only imagine if you'd had just 2 more Rhino units.
4 Rhinos, yeah.
4 Rhinos. The first wave comes in, pushes me back. The second wave comes in and keeps me back.
Yeah.
And that allows you to start holding, getting more on primary, and burning as well if you want to. I think, and I know this is probably, I don't mean this in a disappointing way, but I think the Raptors were a little lackluster.
Yeah, like
maybe the problem was that they deep struck down and then they didn't make the 9-inch charge.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Raptors don't work. I think Raptors are how do I get them to the enemy from starting them on the board scenario.
They are a unit that requires finesse.
Yes.
Like, for example, when I moved up here, I learned a thing where it's like, okay, maybe I don't need to deep strike all of them. I can just hide them in buildings, push up, and then, like, between those second waves, like you were saying, they're not a bad unit, and they will definitely work with Dread Talons. Like, next time we engage, I'm bringing Dread Talons.
Couple of practice games, Dread Talons, boom.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm gonna show off the full potential. I'm not giving up on this. Some people have. I'm not. I'm gonna die by the swing.
Fair enough. Just, I'd say sort of just a couple of bits about the guard army that I ran today. Just thoughts off the top of my head. Very impressed by Sentinels. The autocannon ones were not as good as the las cannon ones. Definitely convinced las cannons are the way to go there. The El Clasico battle tanks, once again proving that they are the tank for take all comers. Enemy vehicles, they won the tank duel against dedicated anti-tank predators. They won the tank duel there, and then they started switching into the infantry support role. El Clasicos are a unit that I put into a guard list when I don't know what I'm playing and I just want to be able to do something every turn, and they did that. Unit that I think, like I said, all the guys performed a little poorly. Unit that I think didn't do as I noticed didn't do as well as I expected was the Kriegers. Now, I love my Kriegi boys, don't get me wrong, but I think a lot of people have started learning how to overwhelm that feel no pain, and I felt like when you want to kill the Krieg, you could kill the Krieg. So that's definitely something that I noticed. I didn't notice a big difference in the durability between them and like Cadians, but I would say Krieg with that +1 to hit, when that started kicking in turn 3, turn 4, that was massive. That was allowing me to clear away a lot of stuff, so that was big. But that's just about it. That's all from us today. Hope you guys enjoyed the battle report back home. Let us know what you think down in the comment section below. What can we do to improve? What would you change? Any things that you noticed? All that kind of good stuff. And of course, let us know what you'd like to see next time. You know, El Warpy, as I've been calling him. El Warpy, as we're calling him all day. You know, you want to come back and come on the channel. I've had a blast. I want you to come back as well. So let us know what you want us to work on, what the rematch should contain, and when we come to doing it, we'll see if we can make it happen. I'll work on some units, you'll work on some units. I think between us, we probably have enough in our respective pile of shames.
I've got my closet of shames.
Yeah, exactly. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I know it's a bit cringe asking for that stuff, but it really does help with the YouTube algorithm. Last but certainly not least, I want to say a huge thank you to all of the channel members and the Patreon supporters. It's thanks to the generous support that we have from the channel members, the Patrons, that we are able to do battle reports and are able to put out the content consistently and just basically do everything that we do here. It is the lifeblood. So thank you to all of you guys. And if you want to go the extra mile and you've liked what you see and you want support, then please consider becoming a channel member or patron. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. And of course, as always, see you guys next time.